One thing I do not miss. One thing I don't miss about watching it on YouTube. No. One thing I do miss about not watching it on YouTube is the fact that I can't just click the space bar. I have to manually click it every time. Anyways, we don't talk about my hair. No comments. It's just too long. I literally want to take scissors and just, because you see, these are the short ones, you see. These long ones touch. Literally, you see. That's how long some of them are. Touching my nose. Yeah, I got a text message from the vaccine place. I'm like, please, please. But no, of course not. Sad. No, sad. Because it was just like, oh yeah, you're still signed up. And I'm like, okay, cool, don't message me. Don't message me unless I can go in. Full stop. Yeah, I was watching, I told you, I still have thoughts on Sabrina, I think, because they also mentioned that Roz, she, like, the actress brought up being like, hey, can we make her a feminist again, like a really prominent feminist, because that's kind of why I signed up for this character. So that's why they brought her kind of back being a feminist in season, I guess, season 3, I thought 4, but then 4 made her a witch anyways. I guess that was also, doesn't matter. And then the Theo thing with the idea that, so like feminism in general is a very clunky, awkward topic. First couple seasons, or the first one especially, was like, I think, okay, clunky, confused. But then the trans story from the very first season, I think it definitely talked about that, where it just like didn't come across right. So then in season 4, season 3, only 6 months after the first event, 6 months, Theo's like, yeah, I didn't always look like this. I transitioned, blah, blah, to Robin. That isn't the conversation I thought they would have. And I know, like, oh, season 1, they already came out. Why would he come out again? I get it. Either don't bring it up, or bring it up just being like, hey, I'm trans. That thing isn't like, oh, I know I look like a cis guy. It's like, well, the actor isn't on testosterone. I don't even know if at that point the actor had top surgery. So the idea that it's like, I didn't always look like this. Like, yeah, I've been out for 3 years. I still look like this. But I haven't had top surgery. The idea, it's like, I didn't always look like this. I'm like, 6 months, even if he was on injectable tea from the day he came out. That's just not how that works. Okay, so There we go. So what happened is, even if Theo started testosterone the second he came out, 6 months, if he came out and got testosterone immediately, 6 months, if it is injectables, which is the strongest type, on the strongest like thing, he like max amount would probably get a deeper voice and facial hair and stuff. 4 to 6 months. 5 months is like, that's when you know your voice like drops. So it's like, even if he did transition the second he came out, that's not how that works, because like he also physically didn't change. Like, yeah, socially he came out, but like physically, like he didn't. And it's like one of those things that if he's into multiple different things, you don't have to pretend, like the writers, you don't have to pretend that a trans person instantly looks like the gender they want to assign, or not want to assign as, they assign as. We don't talk about it. Anyways, so what happened is, because like I see that a lot with like dead names, like, oh, so now we're gaslighting us into being like, oh, they never had this dead name. I'm like, no, but you look away respectfully. You don't, I don't know, just like, it's not gaslighting you. No one's pretending they didn't have a dead name. We're not pretending they were assigned blank at birth. But it's just like, it's respect. It's cold respect. Where like with Theo, I wish he came out to Robin and was like, explained like, hey, socially I transitioned, I got a haircut, but I'm, you know, like, this is where I'm at, instead of, I'm trans. It's like, no, that's not how that works. So it just like, and then it feeds into like, well, being like, well, obviously Theo looks like a guy because he came out. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I look at Theo and I see a boy, I look at the actor, I see non-binary because I know it, was taught it. I don't know if I would have been able to look at them and like know what they identify as, but it's just something you, once you learn, that's what, it clicks. You see them that way if you make yourself see them that way. Like, you learn it, and you don't just be like, change the pronouns. Like, you change the way that you identify them. Like, I don't know how to like point it out, but anyways, it really feeds into then also like the idea that you have to transition medically also very quickly. Like, I came out 3 years ago. I haven't medically transitioned yet, not because I don't necessarily want to, but I didn't want to just jump into it. I still have concerns. I have fluctuating wants and desires from what my transition should end up as. So I still debate what I want to do. I definitely want top surgery, but do I want testosterone? Do I want to have to shave? Do I want to get rid of my little, well, clearly not great, but my non-haired face? Do I want to get rid of that? Do I want to go through this? Do I, whatever. That appointment's in a few days, and I still am like, what if I'm making a mistake? I just cracked all of my back when I sat up like that, so that's fun. But it's one of those things that I don't know. It's something. And then with that idea that you have to transition instantly other places, like, because I've been out for so long, he's pretty good with already sending me along the way. I don't need him to like walk me through coming out to people with my family because I've already been out and all that. But my therapist is walking me through what hormones do to you, top surgery and surgery and all that. But ever since I've been out for so long, he's like, okay, yeah, you can kind of move up. So that's why I'm getting it so quickly, but he's still gonna do one session before I actually start it. When I started a little bit in it, just to make sure that's what I really want. And for me, that was really fast. I made an appointment. I had it in 2 months, 3 months. Made it on the first month, got on the third, versus came out in December, then made the appointment. But what happened was what happened was, like, if someone else like Robin, Jack's editor, came out and it was Sweden. In Sweden, apparently, there's only like one center in like a 3-mile radius or something, and it's like 20 months wait. And I know Jamie, and a guy named Noah, YouTubers. I know of them. I don't like know them being tight, but they're trans and they had to wait a good chunk of time for like the UK or England to have an opening because of the center they went to. They went to the same center because there was so few amount of actual centers to do these things, or maybe only one. Like I'm, and then like with Robin, apparently Robin called and I think he goes by he and pronouns, but anyways, he called in. Apparently they were just like hanging up on people. There was just not enough people taking calls, and that's not a healthcare or an international or national, not international, a national healthcare problem. That's a government problem. That's not because people are, it's not because the system's flawed, because the government's flawed. Then the idea that there's pros and cons for different things, but I don't know. But yeah, having to wait years, and again, I got it fast because I've been out for so long. Apparently, my therapist, he worked with people that need a good chunk of time to come out to people, to make sure they're safe, to make sure they can live, and to live the way they want, like, cut their hair, if they want to do, like, socially transition, come out with a name, blah blah. Oh, I never did that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna say I didn't do that because I am signed up for things under my legal name for COVID reasons. So I said I'm gonna wait. That's a good one. Because I haven't looked into that yet. I'm just like socially I transitioned my name. Everyone calls me my chosen name, not my birth name. But oops. Yeah, I just don't know if my sinuses feel actually any better, you know? I think my teeth still hurt. Yeah, my ears definitely still crackle. oh yeah, and then the power in Sabrina is very odd because like the very last season or two, but especially like the last season, having the like warlock standing in the back versus like the women are in the front battling and stuff, but not in a actual woke progressive way, but in a, oh, the women are so powerful because they have a uterus, a working uterus, and it's like, what? And it's just like, it's such a stupid thing for me because I'm just like, what are you talking about? And they literally like put their hands like this over their uterus and I like shoot the beam, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you, like, what? And it just like, it's so annoying because it's like so odd that like the men aren't doing any of the power. Why did Rosalind become a witch anyways? I don't know. But then like, not like become a witch, like it wasn't a decision, it was like this, she comes from a line of witches, which is weird because none of them signed the book. So did they get their powers from God? Jesus? They're Christians. So that doesn't make any sense either. The uses of endgame being an actually used term is ridiculous. Like Nick is like, we're endgame. It's like, no, stop, please. But yeah, and then having, I don't know, just, they also kind of lampshaded it also with like Sabrina being like, well, I was adopted, and like, okay, but you're still making a uterus the biggest deal in the world. And it just like, even just a birth scene and having them be like, oh, we're so powerful because we can handle the pain of birth. And I'm not saying people that do that aren't, but in a very women, it's done in a very odd way for me. I wanted those to stay down to make it look like her bangs, but